Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're doing another book testing review. Today I'll be using this book and we're trying the coffee and cardamom pound cake. And this is supposed to have a marble effect, which came out really good. And the icing has instant coffee in it. And I ate a whole spoon. It was delicious. Alright, so let's see how to make this. And then we'll do a taste test at the end. Alright, so I have everything here prepared. Now let's get baking. First we're gonna need a nice big bowl. And then 6 tablespoons of milk. 6 room temperatured eggs. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. I use vanilla bean paste. I absolutely love it. So we'll need 2 of this. It has a little bit of the vanilla beans in it already. Whisk this slightly until the eggs are combined. Now let this sit aside. In a large bowl, we'll need to sift in 200 grams of self-rising flour and 100 grams of all-purpose flour, half teaspoon salt, that's about right, and 300 grams of granulated sugar. Whisk this gently on a low speed. Nice and combined. Here I have 300 grams of soft room temperature butter. And to this we'll add half of our egg mixture. And gently start whisking. And then slowly go up to medium. Now that the butter and the flour all combined, we're gonna add the rest of our egg mixture in 2 batches. So 1. And don't be afraid if it looks split. It's just because there's too many eggs in here. Now that this is all mixed together, we'll need 2 bowls because we're gonna divide this in half. And that's how we're gonna create a marbling effect. Scrape the edges. And here is my 2 bowls. And half in each. About half, it doesn't have to be completely accurate. Okay, so here I have ground cardamom. We're gonna add 1.5 teaspoon to one of the batches. And I fold this to combine. This already smells really good. I'm hoping it's not too much cardamom because it's pretty strong in flavor, but we're following the recipe. Warm up 1.5 tablespoon milk. Here is my instant coffee. Of this, we're gonna add 1.5 tablespoon. And over here we have cocoa powder, 2 teaspoons. Mix this until the coffee is dissolved. We're gonna have a very thick chocolate coffee. Oh, that smells so good. Nice and mixed. We're gonna combine this with our second mixture. Gonna combine this quickly. I feel like it's not as dark as I was expecting it. Okay, so we have 2 cake mixes. Then we have our Bund pound cake baking form. It looks like this. It could be a little bit different on this side, but it has a hole in the middle. I got this from Amazon. I'm so excited to use it. Usually whatever I get from Amazon comes from the same company and they're very good quality, heavy. But if you're looking for a good one and you want to test it out, see how it feels, what's the quality like, go to Home Goods. Trust me, Home Goods is the best place. We're gonna add a little bit of butter and I'm gonna spread this around. This will help so it doesn't stick. Yeah, it's maybe best to do it with fingers. I'll adjust with my fingers at the end. I just feel like when you do it with your fingers, there's too much leftover butter on your finger and it melts into oily very quickly. So we're just going in with a silicone spatula and it nicely folds in. And now a little bit with my finger, just in the area that's missing. Alright, nicely covered in butter. Now we're gonna take a little bit of all-purpose flour and just distribute it evenly. And now kind of start to rotating it so it flours the edges. If you need more, add more. You can always throw out the extra. Alright, so this looks good. I'm gonna get rid of the extra, flip it over the trash, and then tap on the side. Preheat the oven to 350 or 180 Celsius. Okay, so we're gonna add our cake mix in 4s. So 2 of each. We're gonna add a little bit of this. You can use a spoon if you like. I wanted the white part to be on top. And now the chocolate coffee smells very, very good. Okay, now the rest of the white cardamom flavored dough. Alright, that's good. And now the rest of the chocolate. Okay, take a thinner spoon or a small spoon and then whisk around just once. Don't be tempted to overdo it because you will not get that marbling effect. Okay, this is done and we're gonna bake this for 50 minutes. I know it's long, but 50 minutes for this, and meanwhile go watch your favorite episode or maybe clean the house. That's what I'm gonna do. Clean all the mess I just made. It's done and now I'm gonna put it on a cooling rack. I'm gonna let it cool completely. To check if it's cooled all the way through, I usually put a wooden toothpick in, and if it comes out dry, as it did, then it is cooked on the inside. Now I'm gonna flip this over and let it completely cool, because if it's not cooled down, it will ruin the glaze. It came out without a problem, and it's beautiful, beautifully cooked all the way through. And if you don't want that bottom part to look like this, you want it to touch completely, you can cut off the bottom part that you saw me sticking the toothpick in, so it'll be straight and standing on its own. But ooh, soft. Very, very, very hot, so let it cool down. Now we're gonna make the icing. 3 tablespoons of hot milk. You're gonna need a big spoon. Into this, add 1.5 tablespoons of instant coffee. Just gonna eyeball it right now. Let this melt. Into this, we're gonna add 2 cups of powdered sugar. Okay, this milk cooled down very quickly, so I think I'm gonna pop it back in the microwave. You just want to make sure all of those little black bits are melted, because it will not look pretty in your icing. The milk is pretty hot still. They're just very, very stubborn. Okay, that looks very nice. Now we're gonna add 2 cups of powdered sugar. I know it seems like a lot, but it will all become one thick sauce. Kind of like a sauce. Alright, so here is one. First I'm going to just do the one. Mix it in. And make sure you add this on top of your cake when your cake is completely cooled down. Because if it's not cooled down, it will melt this icing. And the icing will drizzle down and will not look as beautiful as it could be. Putting icing on a cake is the way to test your patience. I'm gonna add one more cup. Very, very creamy and starting to become hard. This looks very nice. Just make sure there are no lumps in it. It almost looks like caramel. You could fool someone with this. Hey, I made some caramel. Look how shiny it is. Oh my gosh. You gotta work quickly with this because if you don't, it will dry into your bowl. Alright, let's get the cake. I'm gonna taste this to see how it tastes. Nice. Light coffee flavoring. Here's my cooled cake. Now we're gonna add the icing on it and let it drizzle. Just go around and it will go on its own. It will slide down on its own. See, it's already sliding. And if you see that some areas don't have enough, feel free to add a little bit more on that side. It will slide down and look very beautiful. Like I need more over here. More on this side. Okay, I'm actually very happy with this amount. I still have all of this left. But I think maybe on the inside. We'll do a little bit more on the inside. So the inside can be covered completely. Because it is pretty tasty. So this will just slide down very nicely. It's okay if there's like too much in the middle. You can always lift this up when it dries and then clean it. But I think this is the perfect amount on the outside. Delicious. All right, now let's cool this down before serving. She is a beauty. Look at that. It was a little bit wet. The original recipe says to add butter into the glazing, which I thought was ridiculous. Why would I add butter to this additional liquid? It will all drizzle down. But we got some nice parts here. Some a little bit too much. We'll hide that. It's okay. But moment of truth, what you all been waiting for. Grab the closest knife. Let's cut it and see the inside. I don't want to ruin it. See the marble effect. Nice. I think it looks pretty good. It's very soft on the inside. I love it. Beautiful. Shall we taste it? Yes. I am very excited. Just gonna take a big bite. I'm not really smelling the cardamom, but I can see it in the texture on the white sponge. It's more coffee. The coffee is very strong. The flavoring is very nice. You can taste the coffee and a little bit of the cardamom. I feel like it's a little bit dry. Very slightly dry on the middle. Not bad. Very soft. Very, very soft. I just feel like this is something you have to eat with some tea or coffee. But otherwise, delicious. very interesting, very satisfying combination of the coffee and cardamom. And also we learned how to make marbling cake effect. So I hope you liked this video, and if you want to see more of these book reviews, make sure to come back for next time. Have a fantastic day.